आप हिंदी में फिल्म बना रहे हो लेकिन डायरेक्टर भी असिस्टेंट भी सारे इंग्लिश में बात कर रहे हैं और एक्टर की समझ में ही नहीं आ रहा क्या या यू कैन डू इट यू नो यू विल कम हियर एंड देन यू विल गो देयर एंड एक्टर की समझ में नहीं आ रहा क्या बस सीधा सीधा बोल देना यार।
आज के स्क्रिप्ट में प्लेथोरा बोलूं कि डिस्कम्बोबुलेट।
A lot has been said in the current landscape of films that have done exceptional business in the box office and those that have miserably failed to create an impression. While most of the social media discourse has been reductive and simplistic with headlines such as RIP Bollywood or Bollywood is over, the media has gone above and beyond in questioning Hindi film actors on their thoughts of the growing influence and pan-Indian appeal of especially Telugu, Tamil and Kannada content. The video is not only going to be restricted to that, but moments of honesty and candidness that just seem like a rarity when it comes to interviews these days, as celebrities and their conscious nature of what gets put out there affecting their perception has become rampant and excessive. Irrespective, getting right into the interviews that really accounted for moments of vulnerability and in some cases surprising clarity, here is Tried&Refused Productions with 10 times Indian celebrities give brutally honest answers in live TV interviews. Sanjay Dutt. One of the things that Sanjay Dutt has been extremely vocal about is the lack of heroism that exists in Hindi cinema, and that is clearly being celebrated with movies like Pushpa, RRR and KGF, where the protagonists are presented on a canvas that is larger than life and get placed in a narrative that despite its scale and vision is carved out with great detailing. This is true for his own old films like Vastav, Khalnayak and Agnipath. To see their star be a force to be reckoned with rather than an empathetic, apologetic and brooding figure. A harsh reality one has to consider while catering to the masses, but sadly what is also the antithesis of the acting job.
The South, they've always believed in heroism, they've always made films according to that. They've considered the hero a larger than life person. I travel a lot. I go to UP. I go everywhere. I go here. There. They said कि बाबा क्यों नहीं करते? You know वो सिटी वाला काम वो रघु किधर गया वो अपना खलनायक किधर है और कांचा चीना वैसा कुछ चाहिए आप ऐसा करते. You know this is what they're waiting for.
The clarity of the answer of what's missing in Hindi cinema will presumably be filled with his upcoming venture Shamshera as well. NAWAZUDDIN Siddiqui. I consider NAWAZUDDIN Siddiqui to be one of the most talented actors in the Hindi film industry and a man who has had such an inspiring journey from where he started. It is also undeniable in order for you to have a good quality of life, you can't expect your favorite actors only to act in mid-budget, socially relevant films that are mostly catered to multiplexes. For relevance and monetary success, one needs to balance between movies like Photograph and Kick, or Manto and Munna Michael. What I found hilarious was when NAWAZUDDIN was promoting Heropanti 2 and had this to say about hit films in this day and age.
मैं ये सोच रहा था कि पैंडेमिक के बाद शायद 2 साल के बाद 2 साल जो हम घर में रहे तो पूरे वर्ल्ड का सिनेमा देखा होगा लोगों ने तो कुछ सलाहियत आएगी. बट जिस तरह की पिक्चर अभी हिट हो रही है तो ऐसा लगता है कि भाई सलाहियत गई दे लेने यहाँ एंटरटेन करो और सुपरफिशियल लेवल पे एंटरटेन करो.
While he does have a point that there should not be a monopoly of larger than life films that are extremely stylized and have no substance, but it's quite ironic when he was saying this while promoting Heropanti 2. What are your thoughts regarding his comments about the same? Anil Kapoor. Media channels are hungry for snippets that can go viral on their own websites, so to trap actors with provocative or contentious questions is not a new thing in any shape or form. Expecting that a mainstream Hindi actor like Anil Kapoor will say something controversial if asked about the rise of cinema from the southern states of India, Anil Kapoor made the public aware of his roots actually being from Telugu and Kannada cinema, and how one may be learning about their quality now, but it has existed for several decades.
मैंने अपना करियर साउथ से शुरू किया. मेरी पहली फिल्म जो थी वो एज अ लीडिंग मैन तेलुगु फिल्म थी, जहाँ से मुझे प्रोफेशनलिज्म, डेडिकेशन, डिसिप्लिन मुझे सीखने को मिला. मुझे बाबू साहब के साथ काम करने को मिला. उसके बाद मैंने फिर एक कन्नड़ा फिल्म की, वो भी साउथ की थी, मणिरत्नम की पहली फिल्म थी. साउथ ने हमेशा अच्छी कहानियाँ, अच्छी फिल्म, टेक्निकली हमेशा ये दौर था, है और चलता रहेगा.
It's quite hilarious that people, or at least mainstream media, is acknowledging cinema from different states now, but have little to no idea of their films just a decade before this. I've been exploring Tamil, Telugu and Malayalam cinema just for 4 years now, and I have barely scratched the surface, and everyone seems to have become an expert now after the mammoth success of a few films. Mahesh Babu. While most actors from the Hindi film industry are being asked whether they will be open to star in Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam or Kannada cinema, in some cases even misconstruing their statements as being disrespectful to creators, a journalist from Mumbai posed a question to Mahesh Babu on whether he would be willing to star in a Hindi film anytime soon. The man had quite the confident and snappy remark regarding the current market and made it clear that there was no need for such move.
You don't need to do Hindi films anymore. You can do Telugu films and it'll go all over the India. That's what's happening right now. So you would want to be in a position where you want to do only Telugu films. Yeah.
Prashanth NEEL. For anyone who has seen the marketing and promotions of KGF Chapter 2 would know that Prashanth NEEL is a very soft-spoken person who presumably transforms into a beast and the captain of the ship on set. But if you look at his individual interviews, you will notice that the man exudes absolute clarity with his vision and the kind of films he wants to make. You will notice through many of his interviews, the creator seems scarred from the experiences that he had in his struggling days up to his directorial film Ugram, and is very clear on wanting to work with stars and pitch larger-than-life films with heroism, style, and of course an engaging narrative. When asked about his motivation to make films, he said something that most people will never admit on a public platform.
You're saying the commerce comes first and the art follows it. Is that what you're saying?
I believe in that.
Okay, all right. So,
Because life has treated me differently in different stages. So
right.
For me, it is that way.
Right.
Richa Chadda. Even though this excerpt is reflective of the time post the pandemic regarding the people who were coming out of the trenches to badmouth Hindi cinema or Bollywood for any inconvenience that may have been caused in their life, it seems relevant even today, especially if you see the toxicity regarding the same online. A time where primetime news channels could not get over labeling Hindi cinema as the worst thing that ever existed in the world, Richa Chadda explained with great clarity the objective nature with which one should view such individuals and opinions who actually thrive on the downfall of actors and an entire establishment.
But the fact is that they have no credibility. They're the rejects of the system. They're as what my friend Minnie Mathur calls the khurchans of Bollywood. If they are going to gather together and appear on TV debates and froth at the mouth and try to be relevant, they should not be taken seriously. Yeah.
Yash during the promotions of KGF Chapter 2 really had some snappy remarks for journalists, spitting facts immediately if they came from a place of ignorance when it comes to Kannada cinema, or just the incompetence to understand the mass hysteria of KGF Chapter 2. When Rajdeep Sardesai, who definitely came across in the interview as having not seen the first film, questioned Yash on the purpose of the dialogue of violence that became very popular and was prevalent even in the trailer cut, our own Rocky Bhai had quite the smirk remark for the journalist.
I mean, what is the idea? Are these one-liners important in a way to show this macho hero?
According to me, it's a humor. You know, you can use it by saying controversies. I don't like it, but controversies likes me. I can't avoid. Every day you have to sit on a prime time and you may have to discuss about certain things.
On a side note, I have to tell you, most TV journalists have no idea of actors' filmographies or work but pretend to do so. If you carefully listen to their conversation, it becomes wildly apparent. Rohit Shetty. The moment you put Salman, Shah Rukh or Ajay Devgan on the title of a video, you know you'll be guaranteed views. The Vimal cinematic universe has been quite the talking topic these days, with the entry of Akshay Kumar, with his sudden exit, and his conscience to kick in and realize he isn't a good fit for the particular product. Other actors couldn't care less because they vehemently stand for not being role models but just actors, even though that might be a convenient stand to take. When Rohit Shetty was asked on how these actors may negatively influence the public, he called out the reporter knowing exactly what his intention was while trying to get an answer from the director.
अभी मैं बोलूंगा कि हाँ उनको छोड़ना चाहिए, फिर तुम लोग जाओगे 1 घंटे में 3 कटिंग ढूंढोगे, एक कंपनी का मिल जाएगा अजय का, शाहरुख का कहीं वानखेड़े का मिल जाएगा, सलमान का कहीं का मिलेगा, वो कटिंग और मेरा कटिंग चलेगा. क्यों? आज का दिन छोड़ देते, अपन एक अच्छे कॉज के लिए.
Vijay Deverakonda. What one needs to acknowledge regarding Indian cinema is not to segregate on the basis of language or people, but to understand that if this country wants to be taken seriously on the global scale, one needs to unite and propel what has already been paved by SS Rajamouli in the 21st century. Ajay Devgan and Kicha Sudeep controversy aside, stories that translate beyond borders globally, and this can only be done when stories cater to the entire country rather than a select few in a population of billions. Vijay Deverakonda provided the same clarity of what should be the future of Indian cinema that can also give Hollywood a run for their money.
More people speak English and more people watch English films. Are they more talented than us? I don't believe so. I think our stars are equally or more talented than them. They're just bigger stars because more people watch their films and more people know their language. So for the Indian film industry to grow, for our budgets to become bigger, for us to make greater cinema, for us to become relevant, stay powerful, we have to unite the country through cinema. National cinema is the way forward, and it's going to make us a very powerful country and our industry very powerful, are my thoughts.
AAMIR Khan. I don't know why, but this year AAMIR Khan on his birthday went on a media rampage to talk about all the personal transgressions he has experienced, while mostly being regretful and not being an active part of his family's life, being so busy with his acting career. AAMIR in his CNN IBN interview became teary-eyed due to missing out on the development stages of his children's life.
आप जब छोटे होते हैं, आपके डर होते हैं, आपके fears होते हैं, आपकी उम्मीदें होती हैं, तो मैं था नहीं उसका हाथ पकड़ने के लिए। और इस बात का मुझे बहुत शार्पली अंदाजा है कि वो वक्त वापस नहीं आएगा।
The moment was heartfelt and reflective, but also awkward on just the number of times the actor reaches out for a sip of water placed on the ground. Somebody needed to intervene and figure out the staging of this interview. That aside, the content presents an actor in his most vulnerable state. Something that is always a rarity to see on Indian television. And that was a video, guys. Write down in the comments below whether you have some video ideas for our channel. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.